Okay, let's open up Audacity and take a look at some of the settings you might want to change. I already had a response about Audacity, about the first video I created, and somebody was saying that they were having trouble getting more, when they were recording their voice, getting more than just the bare minimum of sound on the recording. Now this may be the problem. We'll look at this one first. If we go to Edit and Preferences, this is probably where your problem is. You want to set which devices you use for playback and for recording. For playback, I want to use my Plantronics headset because everything goes through my headphones. And for recording, I want to again use my Plantronics headset because that has a microphone on it, and that's the one I want to use. So if you're having problems being heard on your recording, it may be that this particular preference hasn't been set to your device that you're using, so check that before you check anything. Now when you're recording your voice, it's fine to record in mono because your voice is in mono, but if you're recording a piece of music in, then you probably want to change this to stereo. But I'm going to leave it on mono at the moment. And let's have a look at some of these other settings. I'm just going to click OK on that just to make sure they work, but we'll go back in and look at the other preferences. Quality, 44 kilohertz, that's fine. So's that. All these are okay. I honestly, some of them even now, after years of doing audio stuff, I still don't know what everything means, but I can tell you which bits you probably will want to look at. Okay, WAV, that's fine to record in WAV's 16-bit PCM. MP3 exports at the moment are on 128. Again, that's pretty good for voice. You might want to increase the bit rate if you want a better quality, if you're using, for example, if you're recording music in stereo. So we go on to spectrograms, just stick with the default on that. Directories, this is where you can choose where you want it to save your audio, I believe. Let me just have a look. Okay, I'm going to choose a different place to put it. I created an audio directory, so let's put it there. And there. So that's my chosen directory. We'll click OK. It wants to create, I see, it wanted to create a temporary file, so when it's backing up it can put it in, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll have to wait for it to be restarted for that to happen. We can change some more preferences while we're at it. File formats, you probably actually, looking back at that, where is it? You might not want to change that because it's only asking about the temporary file, but I've got more space there anyway, so that makes some sense to have it there. Interface, again, these are various things you'll want to have a look at and try and decide which is best for you. These are just settings in terms of how you use it, and this is something you'll may want to play around with. Some of these other settings may be better, but to be honest, that should be fine at -36. These are your keyboard settings if you want to know how to do new stuff using just your keyboard, and you can actually set new keystrokes to different tasks. And that's your mouse as well, and what you need to do in order to edit, but I'll be showing you that anyway. So we'll click OK and we're ready to go. Now the simplest thing you'll want to do with this is just record your voice. So we're going to click on the record button, which is the red button. These should look very familiar to you. We've got forward, we've got back, we've got play, record, pause and stop. So let's click record, and I'm just going to start talking into the microphone, and you'll see as I talk it creates a pattern. You call these waves, sound waves, coming from my voice. So if I suddenly talk loudly, you'll see that the sound wave gets louder here, and it's just moving along as I speak. So I'm going to click stop. And then if we want to zoom out so we see the whole of what I've recorded, then we just need to click on one of these. This is out. This will make us see the whole of the recording we've just made. If we want to zoom in on any part of it, let's say we want to zoom in on the very loud bit, then I just click that to zoom in. So that's the first thing you need to know. Very, very simple. You've just recorded something and you can now see it all on the screen, and we should just save that. We're going to export as MP3 and we're going to save it as test 2. There you've created a file. Now if you're actually creating a final MP3 file for use, you might want to add a title to it and an artist, and these things will appear in the information if somebody was to look up the information on their MP3. So if I put in, say, this is a test by Lisa Hartwell, no album, track number 1, year 2008, and we can make, I believe there's a spoken word, or there used to be. Let me see. If not, we'll put it in other. You can choose all sorts. I don't think it's cabaret or show tunes. Oh, it's in here somewhere. Something appropriate will appear. Is it right at the end? No, can't see it, so I'll put it in other but you can have a look through those, see which one's relevant, click OK, and it will save that as an MP3. And if we open it, go to Documents, and I put it in Audio. There it is, and if you hover over it, it gives some of the information there. Artist Lisa Hartwell, track number 1. If I was to right click and have a look at the properties and go to the summary, some of that information that I put in has been put on that. So if, for example, you were creating a file that you were going to either get people to download, or maybe you're going to put it on a CD, but you knew that a lot of people take the CD and create MP3s out of it so they can listen to it on their MP3 players. It's good to have a summary of the information in the background, because certain players will read that information from it, and you've obviously then branded it with your identity and your information. So we'll click OK, and we'll move on to the next video.